Hey everyone! Welcome back to another episode of Mastering English with Podcasts. As always, I'm Raizel, and with me is my awesome co-host, Ricky. How's it going, Ricky?
Hey, I'm doing great, Raizel. Ready for another fun discussion today? What's on the agenda?
So, today's topic is pretty interesting. We're talking about something that everyone can relate to at some point in their lives. Happy people focus on what they have, and unhappy people focus on what is missing. It's all about where we place our focus, right? Let me start by asking you, Ricky, why do you think that is? Why are happy people better at focusing on what they have?
Ooh, deep question right off the bat. I love it. Well, I think it's because happy people tend to focus on the present. They're grateful for what's right in front of them, you know? Like, instead of thinking, oh, I wish I had a bigger house, they're more like, wow, I'm so lucky to have a roof over my head. It's a mindset thing.
Totally. It's like they choose to be content with what they've got, and it changes their whole perspective. Have you ever met someone who just seems naturally happy no matter what?
Oh, for sure. I had this one friend. Let's call him Mike. Mike didn't have a fancy job or a big house, but he was always so cheerful. The guy would show up to every hangout with the biggest smile, grateful for the smallest things, like a sunny day, or even just having enough food for lunch. Meanwhile, I had another friend, let's call her Sarah, who had everything, a great job, a nice house, but was never really satisfied. She was always focused on what she didn't have. It's wild how your mindset can totally change how you feel.
I love that example. Mike sounds like the kind of person you want to be around, right? And it's true. We all know someone who is never satisfied no matter what they have, always chasing the next thing. So, Ricky, do you think there's a connection between that focus and unhappiness? I mean, why does focusing on what's missing make people unhappy?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's because when you're always thinking about what you don't have, you create this sense of lack. Like, you're constantly telling yourself, I'm not enough, or I need more to be happy. It's exhausting. I think it's a bit like social media these days, right? We're constantly seeing what other people have, and it makes us think, why don't I have that?
Right. The whole comparison thing just makes it worse. We scroll through Instagram and see everyone's highlight reels, and then suddenly, we're not happy with our own lives anymore. But the reality is, we're seeing a curated version of other people's lives. It's not even real. I remember a time when I was comparing myself to others, and it felt like I was constantly missing out. But when I started practicing gratitude and focusing on the good stuff in my life, my mindset shifted.
Oh, absolutely. Speaking of real life, there was this time when I was so focused on wanting a new car. I mean, my old car was totally fine, got me from A to B. But I was obsessed with upgrading, and I realized it was making me unhappy. It was this constant thought in my head, I need a better car. But then I started thinking, wait, I've got a car that works perfectly fine. I don't really need more. And just like that, I felt so much better.
Exactly. It's that shift in focus. When we focus on what we have, it's like we're training our minds to appreciate more. I think that's why happy people often seem so much more content. They practice gratitude without even realizing it.
You know, there's this popular saying that goes, gratitude turns what we have into enough. It's so simple. But it's true, right? Like, if you're always saying, I'm grateful for my health, I'm grateful for my family, you start to feel happier. It's like a natural mood booster.
Yes. And I think another thing is, happy people tend to celebrate small wins more. They focus on progress, not perfection. Whereas unhappy people might be like, yeah, I accomplished this, but it's not enough. It's always like they're waiting for something bigger.
Oh, 100%. And you know what? I think that's a trap we all fall into sometimes. We're always looking for the next big thing instead of just enjoying where we're at. Like, I'll be happy when... Have you ever heard people say that? I'll be happy when I get that job. I'll be happy when I lose weight. I'll be happy when I get that promotion. It's endless.
Oh, yeah. I used to be that person, waiting for some big event to make me happy. But then I realized happiness is something you create. It's about enjoying the process, not just waiting for the result. And Ricky, don't you think this can tie back into English learning too?
Absolutely. So many English learners focus on what they don't know instead of what they've already accomplished. It's like, I can't speak fluently yet, so I'm not good enough. But in reality, every little step counts. If you learned 10 new words today, that's progress, and it's worth celebrating.
Exactly. We have to celebrate those small wins. Maybe you struggled with pronunciation yesterday, but today you got it right. That's something to be proud of. I think that's one of the biggest keys to happiness in learning or in life. Recognizing your progress and being proud of it.
Oh, for sure. And you know, life is never going to be perfect. No matter how much we achieve, there's always going to be something we want or feel we're missing. But if we spend all our time focusing on that, we're going to miss out on enjoying what we have now.
Absolutely. So, what can people do to switch their mindset? How can they go from focusing on what's missing to appreciating what they have?
I think the easiest way is to practice gratitude every day. Like, start with small things. Maybe at the end of the day, just think about 3 things you're grateful for, even if it's something simple, like having a meal or talking to a friend. It all adds up. And slowly, you'll start to notice more of the good things in your life.
I love that. And maybe even writing it down could help. Like keeping a little gratitude journal to remind yourself of all the positives.
Totally. Also, being mindful about what you consume, especially on social media. It's so easy to get caught up in comparing ourselves to others. Maybe cutting down on that, or reminding yourself that what you see isn't always the whole story could help too.
Yes, be kind to yourself and remember that everyone's journey is different.
Couldn't agree more. So, to wrap this up, what's one key takeaway we want our listeners to remember?
I'd say, focus on the good in your life. Celebrate your small wins. Be grateful for what you have. And remember that happiness is a mindset.
And don't get too hung up on what's missing. Life is all about balance. Appreciate where you are, and the rest will come in time.
Exactly. All right, folks, we hope you enjoyed this conversation. As always, drop us a comment, let us know what you think, and tell us what you're grateful for today.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Catch you next time.
See you guys in the next one. Stay positive.